Peace. M.Slago, your friendly neighborhood producer. Nashville born, Dallas, Texas bred, and I am Natural Selection. Peace.
Your man Legend with Natural Selections, chilling with my man M.Slago. So what's going on with you nowadays? I know you say you was a father and you kind of had tailed back on some music, but you already, I feel like you already laid your I don't want to say legacy, but yeah, really I do want to say legacy. You've already started that legacy at least, because you know when I go a lot of places, I say M.Slago or I have it on my flyer, and people are like, oh yeah, I know M.Slago. So that means that he's making something dope. So what's going on with you, and let us know a little bit.
That's a blessing in itself just to hear, the people know. And I'm kind of a recluse, so I don't travel that much, so you don't really get to see and feel, how you move.
But so man, everywhere I'm like Austin, Dallas, Atlanta. Everywhere I go, I say M.Slago, and they're like, they know me. I'm like, man, this dude don't never leave the house.
Yeah, straight up. That's how it is. But it's good to know that the music is moving and people are taking a hold to it. Nah, man, second child. So with the baby girl, the first year of each of my kids' lives, I try to dial it back a little bit just to make sure that first year for them is all it should be. You know what I mean? Then after that,
hey, that's good fatherly advice. Y'all check my man M.Slago.
Yeah. So after that first year, as soon as they turn 1, it's like jet blast is on. So she just turned 1 in September, so it's starting to crank back up now. So just a lot of loose end stuff. It's kind of starting to tie in and tighten up. So those records will start dropping, and then just the stuff I do on my own is about to start cranking up real quick.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. Well, man, just tell us about how you hooked up with Homeboy Sandman, because I really enjoyed a lot of that music that y'all did together, and I thought it was like, I was amazed. I was like, man, I know that dude that did the beats, you know what I'm saying? And it was just really, really dope, man. Talk about how you made that connection and just how y'all kind of formulated the music that you did with him, because it was quite a bit of music, to be honest.
Man, it's a lot of joints in the vault, you know what I mean? Like a lot of joints. Homeboy Sandman is one of those kind of MCs that writes every day and he listens to everything. Mm-hmm. So we got joints that they may never see light of day, but they are in the stash, like enough for at least another EP work for sure. Mm-hmm. But the Homeboy Sandman Connect came. There was a show that was thrown here a while back. I want to say 2009 maybe. Mm-hmm. Save Hip Hop, Save the World, and J Live was the headliner.
Exactly.
And the promoter was Gorilla Milk, who happens to be, the wife and mother of the seeds and such.
Exactly.
But now, of course, back then it wasn't like that, but now it is. But she booked J Live. J Live came. J Live was telling us, you ought to check out this kid, Homeboy Sandman. So naturally, looked into it. She asked for my input. I'm like, he's fresh. He should definitely come. She agreed. Brought him down, and it just was, we did the show. We hooked him up at the radio show, of course, Knowledge Drop Lessons Talk, Volume 2, KNON, 89.3 FM in Dallas, with the legendary, talk about, statuses and legacies. DJ Easy Eddie D, been on the air for, like 30 years now. Second longest hip hop show in the world.
That's crazy.
Had him come by the station, went by the show, helped set up. And then after that, I just kind of kept up with him. Just, here go pictures from the photographer that was there. What you got going on? Let me keep up to. I was a fan, so I wanted to keep up with him. And then one day, months later, I just was like, hey man, I'm going through some joints. If you don't mind listening to them, I think you could rock some of them. Of course, first thing is like, why didn't you tell me you produced? I'm like, well, it ain't for me to say.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Just listen and see if you dig it, and that was it. Tablecloth came out of that, the first joint.
Okay. So. Well, tell me this. I mean, the Slago sound is a certain type of sound, but I mean, it's not boxed into like, it's not boxed into anything, but it's like when you hear, usually when I hear M.Slago beat, I mean, maybe it's just me, I know it like, that's Slago, you know what I mean?
You've heard quite a bit too, though.
I've heard a lot of beats, but I mean, but really what I'm trying to say is, I mean, where do you get that inspiration from to craft that type of sound? Because, it's like crazy, because the more and more you listen to your beats, the more and more you start to like them, because you just start to kind of pick up on all the patterns that are
Yeah.
going on because you don't originally pick up on them from the get go. You know what I'm saying?
I think honestly, man, what makes it signature, if you want to call it that at all, is my music, my production is my soul in stereo, straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with life, you kind of, as you live through life, you kind of learn to and adapt to different things, or you start to grab on to certain things, and certain things carry with you, like continually. And I kind of feel like that's the same thing with the music. Like the more you hear it, the more it grows with you, because that's what life is.
True. That's true.
It's just growth. So if you get something that's real, that's soulful, that's true expression of the soul, you can only grow with it. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real.
So I think that's where it come from. Like it's just me,
that's
and
real.
I'm not a boxed in kind of person outside of the fact I don't hardly ever leave the house. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not. There's many facets to every man.
Yeah,
and that's why you get many facets in the music. But there's still a core there because it's all me. So in everything that I make, it'll have me in it, and that's I think where the connection is.
Okay, I like that. But man, there's a lot of stuff going on just as far as just society in general because it seems like it's just like a culture shift going on, just and a systematic shift as well. You know, like the systems that have governed America are kind of starting to be faulty and break down. I mean, offer us some comfort on what's going on. It's like Trump's in the office. You know, cats still getting shot. You know, police officers are getting shot, and black men are getting shot. And I mean, that's both a problem because I mean, it's all like human beings. And then you gotta have a lot of issues with the Black Lives Matter stuff, and you know, it's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, how do you frame stuff? You know what I mean? Because it is so much going on.
I think honestly, there's the changing of the guard now.
Mm-hmm.
Is nothing that we haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like to keep in perspective. Like it's not brand new.
Okay.
To a generation, maybe it might be new.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, cats may be the generation under us. It might be new to them, but it's not brand new. Mm-hmm. They've been hearing about this and reading about this for years. They've been experiencing it secondhand for years. So it's not brand new. I think what you're starting to see anyway is a lot more outward expression, which is something we haven't really been privy to, but we know that it existed at one point, and it continued to exist just under a different face. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel that.
I think that's my comfort, is knowing that this isn't brand new. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you might have put a different face on it, but the core is the same. And with that, perseverance and striving never change. It's the same deal. The question is now you have to be more strategic, and I think by things kind of getting put out in the forefront now, not being sugarcoated as much, you have to.
That helps.
It does help, but you got to make a conscious decision of what you're gonna do about it now.
That's real.
You can't. There's no more. I don't think
middle of the fence. You know.
It ain't even that. I think that there won't be any more. There won't be any more confusion. You know what I mean? Because you hear people all the time talking about, oh man, things so much, but we make so much progress. I've never believed in the progress piece. We've had a lot of change, but change don't necessarily mean progress. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
So now it's time for the progress to start, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And that's what my comfort is.
Okay, I respect that. That made me feel good, man. I like that. I mean, I like that. That's a unique perspective.
You got to sit
back. This is not brand. This is brand new to us, but this happens with every generation, is what you're saying.
But if you think about how generations go, we talk about legacies and DNA and all of that. This you experienced it. You know it already.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's already
because we study it through history and we see it's happen, but when it happens to us, it's a different feeling.
You know what I mean? But it's gonna touch something that's familiar.
No, that's real.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. Because you feel it. You just may not knew what it was, and that's what I mean by the confusion is gonna be gone. Like you talk, I hate to throw him out there, but you talk about the Lil Wayne. Everybody been talking about Lil Wayne's comments. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said the Black Lives Matter thing, because he kind of disassociated with himself. And one thing I was thinking about that is like, you know, how can we kind of judge him? Because I'm at a certain economic level, so I think a certain way about society. If I was a millionaire, I'd probably feel differently about society.
So it'd be like, I don't think you can knock him for how he happens to experience the world, but in the same breath, there should be no confusion.
Yeah.
Because I think what's gonna happen even with him now, he may end up seeing some stuff that'll shed some more light that he hadn't had to see before.
That's true.
I think that's gonna be the difference.
Yeah.
So, comments like that, it's people will write it off as being naive, which I don't think is true. I think it's just that's his reality, and I believe him in that sense.
No, that's
but
real.
I think with the changing of the guard and things being more out front on the front porch instead of being in the back room,
Yeah,
you got to go through that front porch every day.
that's true.
So he gonna catch it.
No, that's real
He
because
catch it.
I mean, you're still a black man,
right? And we all gonna catch it.
Yeah, don't be confused.
No doubt.
That's real. But man, I want to talk about this. Now I haven't really talked about any artists, but I feel like you're an open enough artist I can speak with about. I feel like hip hop is promoting a lot of like homosexuality, a lot of gay things. Because if you look at like Young M.A. and Empire and just different, there's a lot more talk about like gay stuff and homosexuality in hip hop. When 10, 20 years ago, in hip hop we would have never talked about that type of stuff.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Is that just a shift in culture, or is that something that we just have to? Hip hop's been accepting of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's so much a shift in culture. I mean, because that stuff has always been there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, homosexuality has been there for a minute. And Young M.A. is fly. Like, she around my ass off.
Yeah.
But I think it's...
But it's like they're promoting it as if that they want the next kind of openly gay artist to be like the new Eminem.
Well, you got to look at this. Hip-hop has always been a reflection of... It's been a voice and reflection of what's happening in the community, right? That's what's happening in the community. So it has to be reflected, whether you like it or not.
Man,
you know what I mean?
That's a tough pill to swallow. I think for some people, not for me personally, because I can see that, but some people, because I look online a lot and people, they come with their little comments and stuff, and you wonder, like, is it something that we're going to embrace, or is it something that's going to be dividing us? You know what I'm saying? Because hip-hop's always been, I think, has been great across the world because it brought, no matter who you were, you could participate in some type of way. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. And even keeping it all the way funky, and sometimes it get uncomfortable for me. But I understand the culture, so it don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the thing that a lot of people got to get past. Like if you don't like it, just you make sure that you promoting the people that you love, or you do as an artist, you doing everything you need to do to get to make sure that your voice is heard, whatever that may be.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me make it personal. If you had an opportunity to work with a gay artist and it would bring some income your way, a nice amount, would you take that opportunity?
I work with gay artists now.
Oh, man.
You know what
that's real. That's real.
It's all about, it's just about freshness. Hip hop, only thing that true people that live hip hop care about is if you fresh.
That's real.
That's all they care about. Whether they uncomfortable with you or not, just for your personal preference. It's the same thing like just as a man. If you hear about a homosexual dude in your crew, or like you look at sports and all that, it seems to be real common in sports.
Yeah.
The locker room comment always. As a matter of fact, Common said it best. This rumor of gay MCs just don't come around me with it.
Yeah.
It's all about your approach and your tact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't have to be a homosexual situation. It could be something as simple as how a woman wants to be approached by a man. If you don't approach them right, you're going to hear it, or you're not going to get no play. On the flip side, it's a certain way if a woman wants to approach a man, then the man wants to be approached. Exactly. If you don't get it the way you want it, then it ain't going to work the same. Exactly. So if you happen to have, if homosexuality is how you rock, that's cool. But it's about how you deal with it, how you carry it, and how you deal with people individually. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. And
this also kind of goes into, as far as hip hop goes, mixing work with pleasure.
Man, that's real.
You know what I mean? Real. I don't want a homosexual artist coming to me on some, hey, what's up? And I'm like, nah, you know me. Yeah. Don't do me like that. Exactly. I won't do you like that.
Exactly.
So it's a respect.
It's a respect thing. It's a human thing because it's just about mere respect. Like I'm not disrespecting how you live, but don't disrespect me.
Yep. So don't come around me with it if you know that's not how I roll.
Yeah, exactly. That's a respect thing. I like that. Well, I mean, let us know about what's coming up next because I mean, I'm a fan. You know what I mean? Because let me just tell a quick story because I mean I originally found out about M.Slago through this like little mixtape he had put together and he had remixed like a whole bunch of different songs and there was a real dope song on there like Outkast song that I heard and I could not stop listening to that beat because I thought it was just. Man, I was just like, man, how does this dude come up with this? It's so simple, but it's so just like, ding, it's just, and I thought it was real dope. But I mean, Wait, is it gonna be like the new stuff? Is it gonna be like different M.Slago, or is it gonna be the Slago we've grown to love, or what's it gonna be?
It'll probably be a little bit of both. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
growth, and then of course art imitates life. So my life is different. So the music will be a little different.
That's real.
But I'm still me.
That's real.
So the music's still gonna have that, like, so it's gonna have that personal touch. You know what I'm saying?
I want you so, baby, can't even get mad at you.
You know, a lot of advertisement to artists, like promote here, do this, do that. A lot of cats giving advice, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to decipher what's real and what's not. I mean, what's some advice you would give to producers that are trying to come up? Because, I mean, it's easy to be a producer nowadays, because back, 10, 15 years ago, you need to have some money, but now it's like you got a computer and software. You got an iPhone, you can make some beats, you know what I mean?
Kind of along those lines. I hadn't caught all of it, but there's a series on PBS that I would definitely suggest.
I know exactly. That sound breaking?
Sound breaking.
Man.
I suggest any artist, whoever, however, whatever, get a hold of that and watch it.
I gotta watch. I knew I should have watched that. It came on last night, didn't it?
I think it comes on like every night. But I saw one night, like last week, it said like, it was like painting with sound. And I thought it was going to be kind of corny. Because I love PBS, but sometimes they do some corny stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's going to be like the audio and the paintbrush and the vibrations making the art. I thought that's what it was going to be. I was wrong.
It was some next level type
but
stuff.
I watched the one, I think it was last night, a couple nights ago, they did it on hip. Like, that was a hip-hop segment of it. Or a big piece of it was just about hip-hop and sampling and how it changed sound breaking in itself. It was groundbreaking and sound breaking, just with the way sampling came about. And with that said, like, kind of going into your question, the advice I have is, there's no limitations regardless of how you're doing it. Regardless of the fact of you talking about hardware limitations, FP1200, MPCs and stuff like that, they have X amount of sampling time. The way things are now, you can still take a piece of software, chop up as much as you want, and then you can pour it into your MP or whatever you use. But there's no limitation, and that's the key. And my thing is always just keep it real, keep it funky. As long as you keep it funky with yourself, it don't matter. If you have a vast array of music that you like, a large catalog of music you love to listen to, let that reflect in what you make. Like, don't feel like you gotta just make something in particular.
So let me piggyback off that. How do you think technology has affected music just overall? You know what I'm saying? Because I know you use a lot of technology in what you do, and I mean a lot of artists I know do. Yeah. I mean. But, a lot of artists use some old equipment and they use some new equipment. Some artists just use all new equipment. I mean, how does it affect hip-hop, and I mean, how does it affect M.Slago individually?
For me, I came into it with software. Probably contrary to unpopular belief. The kind of music I make, most people would think I would start on like the MP.
Exactly.
Or like a ASR or something. I started on Fruity Loops. That just was me. But technology will always affect and change music, and it can only help it get better. I mean, we talked about the sound breaking thing, and the MP and drum sampling not come about, hip hop may have never started.
That's real.
It may have never grown to where it is. We would have still been rapping over James Brown breaks.
You're right. That did revolutionize the game, the drums, because that's everything nowadays, So
drum programming gave hip-hop the boost that it, I think, ultimately needed. Not to say that hip-hop would have been any better or worse for it, but I don't think that the progression and the direction that it has been able to take over the years, and will take going forward, would have been possible. So, I mean, think about some of the greatest producers we love, they have all at some point dealt with the devil probably in software. You know what I mean?
That's real. They got to nowadays. It's almost you can't avoid it. Really.
Avoid it. So I think technology I don't think it's ever been a hindrance. I mean, what you end up getting is you get more people that are in it, maybe not as good. That's subjective, but maybe not as good at what they do, or maybe not passionate about what they do. Just because you're able to manipulate a computer, you feel like you can make beats. Ain't necessarily the truth. You know what I mean? But when that goes back into true music, good music always prevails. So regardless of who's making it and how many other people are making it, the good stuff always rises to the top. So it'll always change it, but it'll always be progressive. wrestling like that. Because it's all about skill and talent as opposed to,
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah, that's right. It's about skill and talent for sure. I mean, this is my last question. If you could talk to everybody in the entire world, you had 5 minutes to do it. What would you say to them?
You just hit me. That's these hard questions.
like if it happened like right now, and it's like, bam, go to M.Slago, he's talking to the world. What would you say right now at this time, everything that's going on and all that we have to deal with on a daily basis?
It's man, love is love first and foremost. That's the first thing I think I had to tell people. Love is love, and you take that however you cut it. You know what I mean? Whether it's from man to woman, woman to child, whether it's comrade to comrade, whether it's adversary, whether it's social, economic, political, racial even, which it shouldn't even be, but whatever it might have been, love is love. So whatever you consider to be love, make sure you exude that. You know what I mean? Love is love. So if you are that, that's what you get.
That's right.
That's the first thing. I think I could probably just say that, and I'd be good.
And then you probably
I'd be gravy, because I'm sure questions will come, but I'd be gravy just saying that, and I feel
whatever new project's about to drop, you probably plug that at the end.
No, not at all.
Do M.Slago coming?
They'll find it. They'll find it.
We'll at least put the SoundCloud on.
Because think
screen.
about this, like you want to look at it from a realistic context. So if I had 5 people, if you put 5 people on a panel, and you told them, you got 5 minutes to speak to the whole world what you want to say. How many people you think can go? How many of those 5 do you think outside of me is going to just say love is love?
Probably not any of them.
So
They're going to probably say something else.
Whatever they say, how much of that are you going to remember?
Probably nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Small percentage, right? So if I say love is love, I'm going to stand out.
You're right.
I'm still telling you what it is, regardless. So the M.Slago plug ain't got to happen anyway. That was this guy M.Slago. He just said love is love. I should probably see what he's about.
Man.
That's marketing. I hate to say that, but it's marketing.
Legend, natural selection, M.Slago, love is love.
Yo, on that note with the shirts, natural selection. I seen some of the shirts.
Yeah,
it's fly.
I really appreciate it. Hey, it's all love. We're just trying to. We're continuing. This is what we're doing with the interview series. We're continuing to educate people. Find out about who's dope, you know what I'm saying? Because, it's been a huge rift between, older rappers and newer rappers and stuff. But it's really, older rappers have to understand, just like you would your child, you teach, you scold your child sometimes, but you teach your child. You teach them, you know what I mean? Of course he's not going to know about Biggie or Tupac. He was just born the other day. You know what I mean? Biggie died, years ago. Pac died years ago. So it's just of course they're not going to know about the legacy they had and everything that happened. They're just going to read about it. And kids think history is nothing nowadays. Yeah. That's history,
Yeah, I had my son Buggy because he likes Michael Jackson. He's 5.
Man, it's every kid loves Michael Jackson. I used to love some Michael Jackson.
My kid got questions about Michael Jackson. He's like, where's Michael Jackson right now? How did he die? Why did he die?
Yeah.
Why was he brown in those first records and now he's not brown?
Man.
You know what I mean? Man,
that's real. Hey, but you know what? Just on some fatherly type stuff, I remember I used to tell my son, when I didn't want him to eat at McDonald's, I tell him it was closed, and he would just be like, "Oh, okay, it's closed. I can't go there." You know what I mean? But then one day, I remember the day he evolved. I said, "Well, man, it's closed. We can't go there." He said, "Well, can we go see?" And then I was like, "Oh, he done evolved on me now. He want to go see if it's really closed because he's been trying to add up 2 and 2." And that just showed me, kids are gonna. They're sharp. They're sharp, but you got to teach these kids about the history. And a lot of cats, they don't know about tribe and all this type of stuff. They don't know that type of stuff. They just go up. They're hot off of T.I. T.I.'s they're legend. Yeah, he's one of the greatest of all time. Lil Wayne. The kids tell me, man, Lil Wayne is everything. So I'm just that. But I accept that because to me, I was thinking Big Daddy Kane. That's everything. You know what I mean? No one cares about Big Daddy Kane no more. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he's dope.
BDK, I care. We can't.
No, I care. I love them guys, you know. But it's just I'm just thinking about like how all through time, like nobody really cared about Tribe, but now they just dropped a new album. It's just like Tribe everything.
And everybody gets reintroduced. Somebody might go do the knowledge and be like, okay, this is a lot. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I think the teaching piece is important, but you gotta have people that's willing to teach. And I've heard that conversation with hip hop and just with our generation.
Yeah, but I feel like the old rapper versus young rapper has been going on since hip hop started.
It's quote unquote a young man's game, so that's what you're gonna get. You know.
Well, man, I hear that, but then I look at a lot of the cats that are having success. They're older cats. You know what I mean?
That's the quote unquote piece.
Yeah, because it's like 30. They'd be like 30 to 40, and really like doing shows, getting money, just doing their thing. You know, and I'm just like, this cat ain't young. You know.
Right.
But I mean, I think social media kind of gives you a false perception because y'all young cats look like they're doing it on social media, but actually on paper, it might be different, you know?
I think it's too just with a different climate, you know, especially if you look at older MCs, the ones that are having success, they probably don't have big internet presence. They've been doing a lot of shows. They've been doing it the tried and trusted. I ain't gonna say the tried and trusted way.
That's
true.
What I'm
saying? So they do it that way. Whereas you got.
But I feel like a lot of those cats have a little like media team that helps them out with that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. But them themselves, they don't really rock.
Yeah, because they're not even tripping. Because Rakim's not tripping on no Twitter account. You know?
They will much more be trying to holler DJs as opposed to trying to get likes on Facebook.
That's real. That's
but
real.
this is different in generations. This is a gap. Not even say a gap. It's just different in generations. Period. Younger cats get online, get their buzz, get things rolling. That's cool. You know, older cats a little more, just like I said, the tried and trusted way. I don't say more calculated. It's a different way to get about it. Ain't saying be the ones right or wrong. As long as you fresh and you doing what you're supposed to be doing to get it out there, that's what matters. You know what I'm saying?
That's real. That's real. I really appreciate you, M.Slago. That's love. Love is love. Mena